You're listening to a special edition of the JustGoBike Podcast. That's AKA Murph.
And that's AP. And this is the podcast where we talk about cycling just for the fun of it. With tales from all across the nation, come for the bikes, stay for the fun, and leave with a smile.
On this special edition, we are going to provide you with daily tales from the trail as we ride our bikes across the state of Iowa as a part of RAGBRAI LI.
We apologize in advance for any background noise. We'll be live each episode.
Well, hello, Murph.
Hello, hello. Day 0 of the RAGBRAI Route Inspection Ride.
So exciting. And I'm excited to bring you our special guest, our first special guest of the week.
Yes.
RAGBRAI Ride Director, Mr. Matt Phippen.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, Matt. And listeners, you hopefully already know this, but this is a special week. We said it in the intro that we'll be broadcasting every single day. So these are going to be shortened episodes, but jam-packed with good info.
Yeah, and since it's day 0, we are in Glenwood, Iowa, on the far western side of the state of Iowa today.
And can we remind listeners what river is here?
We are directly next to the Missouri River.
We are all looking at the Missouri River.
It's very true.
Yeah, pretty cool.
The water's pretty high right now this time of year. There's been a lot of rain in Iowa. But
Yeah.
Hopefully not during the pre-ride.
That's right, yeah. So Matt, are you excited for, the week? And I know you've been driving across the state many, many times.
Yeah, this is maybe my 18th or 19th trip across. Usually it's done in an F-150 pickup, doing 60 some miles an hour across the state. So now to be on a bicycle is something that I always look forward to every year. And it's, from a rider's perspective, we get to see the roads, we get to experience the elevation and the communities. But I mean, for our team, this is truly our pre-ride, or our RAGBRAI for the most part, because obviously we're working in July, so we will enjoy it. But it's also, we are working every day to make sure that everything's dialed in, ready to go for the riders in July.
Yeah, and earlier today, before we hit the road, you kind of gave a speech to everyone, which was, kind of gives us all that rah, let's have a good week together. But this is a jam-packed week.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're doing way more than just riding bikes.
Yes. We're doing the entire mileage. So, over 430 miles of bicycle riding. We're checking out gravel. We're doing the Century Loop. So, when riders are mad at me because we're forcing them up these hills, we're going to do the same hills that these riders are going to be doing in July. So we can say, you know what, we've been there, we've done it. They weren't that bad, so quit whining.
Wait a minute. We haven't even seen these yet.
That's right.
I guess you have.
I have, but no, but we bring 21 riders with us. Riders from all ability levels, all body styles, all different backgrounds. We have law enforcement officers that have worked RAGBRAI. We have bar owners that have been on route and experienced what that bar scene looks like. Restaurant owners that serve food that day. Sponsors that have been a part of RAGBRAI for a long time. I was obviously there early on with Shields. I had to experience pre-ride early on with Shields. It's great having them on route because they can kind of see where they're going to be kind of staged in some of these towns. But it's more than just that. It's RAGBRAI experts that have been there and they've done it. So when we roll in these towns, we can kind of divide and conquer, and you can have the bar guys go talk to the bar guys, the restaurant owners go talk to restaurant owners, law enforcement talk to restaurant, and then city officials and everything that we bring with them. We can make sure that in that 30-minute to 60-minute meeting with these communities that all their questions are hopefully taken care of, and we can get on the road and roll down the road.
Yeah, it's a really fun experience just to get to meet some of these people that I've been working with virtually for several months now, or who maybe I have met at the overnight town meeting or the pass-through town meeting, but haven't seen since, and just kind of catch up on their plans and answer questions that they maybe have at this point, or just listen to what their plans are and hopefully share them with you guys.
Absolutely.
So we are here right now experiencing day 0, like riders are going to, except we don't have the expo here to see. But do either of you have any insight on what we can expect at the expo?
Yeah, it sounds like we have more vendors than we did last year, which is kind of crazy, being RAGBRAI 50 last year and obviously RAGBRAI 51 this year. Laura, who's on our team, has done a fantastic job working with Erica, trying to get everything dialed in and people connected to the expo. We're still selling spaces. We're going to walk it. Obviously you have to get a good lay on the land. I think they're walking it here right now as we talk to kind of look at where everything's going to go. But it sounds like it's going to be a pretty jam-packed expo.
Yeah, and hey, we will be there. Murph and I will be broadcasting, quote unquote, live from the RAGBRAI Expo. So come by and see us there.
Yep. And maybe we'll take a photo when we're done, but we are wearing our JustGoBike gear right now.
So yeah, what better? So also at the Expo will be the RAGBRAI merchandise trailer and the famous RAGBRAI outlet tent. So a chance to see in person all this wonderful merch that we have for RAGBRAI 51. It's just a really cool experience once you finally get all your tent set up and your bike set up and you're ready to go for RAGBRAI. It's sort of a kickoff to the ride to come to the expo, or if you forgot some last minute thing, like you need a backup pair of shorts, or if there's something wrong with your bike, you come get it fixed at the expo. So it's a really great chance just to make sure, look, don't panic. If you left it at home, we got it at the expo.
Yeah. And I think I may have mentioned this on a previous episode, but it is RAGBRAI 51. And you guys did a little inside joke on the 51. Am I correct?
Are you talking about the alien? Or
Yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Early on, there was, chatter about, what design should come from RAGBRAI 51. And there was a couple guys that were very adamant that Area 51, RAGBRAI 51, there's got to be an alien. And obviously the design came out, and I'm a big Easter egg guy. I love finding Easter eggs that are have some hitting meanings. So we planted a alien somewhere. I won't tell you where it's at, so you have to go find it. But there is an alien on the jersey somewhere that you have to find. And then our pre-ride kits this year, there's an alien actually hanging out of a pocket waving. So
yeah,
I love
it's a good tie back to Area 51.
Yeah, and I got the 2024 RAGBRAI 51 jersey and didn't even think about it, right? And then one of you guys said something about, did you find the Easter egg yet? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could not wait to get home. And then I found it, and I totally giggled about it. But cool. yeah.
And fun fact, we just passed 51 days until RAGBRAI 51.
That's right.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It's coming closer.
Matt, will you maybe give the listeners just kind of an overview of what exactly we're doing during this week?
Yep. So obviously we're going to ride every mile from start to finish. And what I'm trying to gauge is, based on the shutdown times, based on road conditions, the elevations, possible headwinds that day, when can towns expect riders to be rolling in? Our route opens at 6 in the morning. It closes at 6 at night. So we have to have riders on bicycles early so they can make it across the state and get in and be off the roads by 6 o'clock. So, as our services close and pull off the road, we have the riders are in ready to take care of the events that are happening that night. So we will ride the route based on when I think riders are going to be leaving. So most days we'll leave at 7 on those shorter days. The long days we're leaving at 6. So we're going to be on the road by 6 a.m., which, we'll need riders to be on the road as soon as possible that morning too. And then how I've broken it down is based on miles. If an average rider can do 10 miles an hour, they can hit these checkpoints. So I've created a kind of a list for my team with specific deadlines that we need to be into these communities. So, if the first town out of the gate is, 10 miles away, it's going to take us roughly an hour if we average 10 miles an hour to get there. So we'll be there at 7 in the morning, and we have meetings set up with these towns. So they'll be there waiting for us. Larger communities, we usually have police escorts because it is busier, but we roll in these communities, we divide and conquer. We will spend 30 minutes in all the pass-through towns. We'll spend 60 minutes in the meeting time. We'll have lunch. But this is a ride that we joke because we actually gain weight on pre-ride because we're
true.
sampling pie, we're sampling food, and then we're helping them set prices and think about portion size and all those things. So it's hard to turn down 4 or 5 nice ladies that have made pie for us when they all want us to sample the pie. They all want to know who has the best pie. So we actually do gain weight this week. But the goal is to see if we can be in by 6 o'clock, the majority of our riders can be in by 6 o'clock. So if they hit these deadlines and the route rolls the way it should, these riders will roll into these towns at these right times, which means the ride is advancing. So what we'll do is after we're done, we will share a report with the counties, the states, and the local communities of conditions that we find in the roads that are going to have issues. Tomorrow morning leaving Glenwood, there's already a road right out of the gate that we're going to detour on because they're fixing it for RAGBRAI. So we're taking back roads around it because they're preparing that road for riders in July. But like I said, we're going to ride the route just like normal. Something that's really, really cool this year and I'm super excited about is we've partnered with Wahoo computers and Ride with GPS. So we're going to be able to share a day-by-day kind of blog on how we all did. So we have, like I said, 21 riders. They're all going to be connected to a Wahoo bike computer. At the end of the day, that Wahoo will sync with Ride with GPS. So then riders can truly see how everybody did, where everybody's heart rate was, if they're wearing a heart rate strap, where the power was at, how long did it truly take them to get in. And we're actually sharing a live logging feature with, there's 6 or 7 of us that you can actually, click our link and kind of see where we're at on the route, how we're performing, all the good stuff.
And I think all 3 of us are
absolutely
going to be that way. So
that team will post that through one of the blogs, and then they'll be able to do that. But I think the cool thing is, riders want data. They want to know facts. You're going to get a sneak peek of the route because you're going to be able to see exactly the roads that we rode in on. Now, just know that after this week, the route could change based on things that we find. So don't download it. Don't put it in your computers and think that's going to be the route we're going to use in July. We will share that route, right after pre-ride when it's all finalized. So know that it is coming. So don't download the one that you're going to see after the day that we ride it. But I think it's going to be really cool. It's a leaderboard. It'll stack up and show kind of where everybody is. And what I think is neat about that is it's all ability levels. It's all body styles. It's all weights. We're not all these, fit athletes are just going to hammer this. There's going to be people that are going to be way at the back, way at the front. But it'll give riders a good baseline of kind of where they all stack up. And then every night via the pod, we'll talk about the day and what we experienced, and you'll be able to, put that with data to see truly how everybody truly did stack up. So once again, a great partnership with Wahoo. They shipped us, 20 some plus computers, the new Roam that we're all going to be riding on, and then an amazing partnership with Ride with GPS. It's the same software that we use to, to plot the route every day. So
yeah. And I certainly am not plotting the RAGBRAI route, but I do really love using Ride with GPS to plot my neighborhood routes.
Yeah.
It just adds a little layer of fun to my bike experience because it tells you how many hills there are going to be and what's the percentage incline and turn by turns. Even though I'm probably not going to get lost, I still have kind of gotten addicted to doing that. So I'm so excited to do it on a larger scale.
Yeah.
And
I just love looking at the statistics. I'm not everyone knows that, I'm more of a recreational rider. I'm not looking to go as fast as possible, but I love looking at stats. Can I beat my last time doing this route?
Your average speed, your max speed.
Yeah. Or my focus right now is trying to make my heart rate lower, regardless of what speed I'm going. So it's just an interesting factor when you can actually look down at your computer and know. But I was going to point out the other thing that I think is really cool about this week. You spoke to, you're kind of making a loose average of 10 miles an hour, which, I don't know if we know what percentage of riders are faster than that or slower than that. But it also, you make sure there's enough time to showcase all of these pass-through communities and the lunch community because, that's the whole point. That's why we're here, is to see all these beautiful small towns.
Yeah, there are shutdown times, which we've talked about that in previous pods, where if towns don't get shut down, they're going to do such an amazing job that riders aren't going to want to leave.
Right.
And if the state patrol doesn't help move the ride along, then ride gets behind, and then it's dark, and we still have riders coming in. So I think part of what this is just gauging the distances between the towns, the elevation between the towns, because there's going to be times that we're doing less than 10 miles an hour up the hill, or we're doing 20 miles an hour plus going down the backside.
Sure.
So it'll average out over the course of the day, but it'll give us a good baseline of truly, this makes sense. And it has happened in the past, but I think it's pretty dialed in this year. Those shutdown times do get pushed forward or do get pulled back just based on what we're seeing. So the towns know kind of what time that we can, they can expect to be shut down. But if I come back after June and say, hey, this is what we're thinking now, they may gain an hour, they may lose an hour, but I think we're pretty close right now. So like I just said, I'm super excited to ride bikes and get on the route and truly experience it. It gets better and more beautiful every time that we do ride it, just because the views are getting more green and more scenic. But there are some hills, but there's some pretty good downhills too. So no, the pre-ride for us, like I said, it is our RAGBRAI, but we're finding ways to make sure the towns are taken care of and prepared. We're meeting with all the local vendors to make sure that they're in a good spot, answering any last minute questions and preparing them for what's going to happen in July.
And we're sharing it all with you on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, our live blog, this podcast, and our live log, and the RAGBRAI.com blog. So you can find us all over the place.
Yeah.
Hopefully you keep up with our travels, because I think it's going to be exciting. It's a great way to kind of help plan your vacation coming up. Well, I think we better head off to dinner in Glenwood and then get a good night's sleep and off to riding on our first day of the RAGBRAI Route Inspection pre-ride.
That's right. And you'll hear from at least AP and I tomorrow. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, guys.
Have fun out there.
Well, listeners, that's it for today. We both want to thank you for tuning in to listen to this special edition of the JustGoBike Podcast.
And if you would like to contact us with a comment about the podcast, or maybe you have a topic in mind, you can reach us at JustGoBike on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
You can also find us this year on Ride with GPS.
That's right. We'll be live logging the entire route inspection pre-ride with our Wahoo bike computers, then sending the data over to Ride with GPS, and you can find us online.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast, especially if you're a fan.
All right, that's a wrap, and we'll be back soon. Until then, just go bike!